ഇന്നത്തെ വീഡിയോയിലേക്ക് എല്ലാവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. ഇന്ന് കേരള PSC ജൂലൈ 2025 നടത്തുന്ന അസിസ്റ്റന്റ് മാനേജർ ഇൻ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഫാമിംഗ് കോർപ്പറേഷൻ ഓഫ് കേരള ലിമിറ്റഡ് പരീക്ഷയുടെ വിശദമായ സിലബസ് ആണ് വീഡിയോയിൽ വിശകലനം ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ചാനൽ ആദ്യമായി കാണുന്നവരാണെങ്കിൽ ചാനൽ മറക്കാതെ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക. വീഡിയോ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടാൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക. വീഡിയോ കൂടുതൽ പേരിലെത്തിക്കാനായി ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുക. നിങ്ങളുടെ വിലപ്പെട്ട നിർദ്ദേശങ്ങൾ കമന്റ് ബോക്സിൽ രേഖപ്പെടുത്തുക. ഡീറ്റെയിൽഡ് സിലബസ് ഫോർ ദ പോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് അസിസ്റ്റന്റ് മാനേജർ ഇൻ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഫാമിംഗ് കോർപ്പറേഷൻ ഓഫ് കേരള ലിമിറ്റഡ്. കാറ്റഗറി നമ്പർ 72/2024. ടോട്ടൽ 100 മാർക്ക്. മൊഡ്യൂൾ 1 അഗ്രോണമി 10 മാർക്സ്. അഗ്രോണമി scope, seeds and soil, tillage and tilth, crop density and geometry, classification of crops, agronomic, botanical, ontogenic, growth and development of crops, factors affecting growth and development, crop rotation and its principles, adaptation and distribution of crops, crop nutrition, essential nutrients, criteria of essentiality, classification, functions of deficiencies, manures and fertilizers, nutrient use efficiency, fertilizer calculations, specialty fertilizers, 100% water soluble, fortified, customized, slow release fertilizers, nutrification inhibitors, biological nitrogen fixation, biofertilizers, weeds, importance classification, invasive weeds of Kerala, crop weed competition, allelopathy, concepts of weed management, principles and methods, herbicides, classification, selectivity and resistance, allelopathy, herbicide calculation, calibration of sprayers and spraying specification of herbicides, integrated weed management in rice, banana, coconut, agriculture scope, importance of agriculture and agricultural resources available in India, farming system components, cropping system and pattern, multiple cropping system, sustainable agriculture problems and its impact on agriculture, indicators of sustainability, adaptation and mitigation, conservation, agriculture strategies, HEIA, LEIA and LEISA, ecological principles of LEISA, homestead farming system, economic importance, soil and climatic requirements, area and production, varieties, seed rate spacing, methods of sowing, planting, manurial schedule, cultural practices and yield of major field crops of Kerala via rice, tuber crops, cassava, seeds, potato, yams and arrowheads, sugarcane, pulses, groundnut, sesame and fodder crops via guinea and hybrid Napier irrigation, water management of principal crops of Kerala, water resources and irrigation development in India and Kerala, soil moisture constants, evapotranspiration, potential evapotranspiration and consumptive use, reference crop evapotranspiration ETO, crop coefficient Kc values for different crops, main empirical methods of calculation of ETO, effective rainfall, water requirement of crops, scheduling irrigation, methods of irrigation, surface, subsurface, overhead and micro irrigations, irrigation efficiency, water productivity and water use efficiency, agriculture drainage, course of water, logging and types of drainage, quality of irrigation water, agroecology of Kerala, agroecological zones and agroecological units, monsoons in Kerala, cropping seasons of Kerala, rain-fed agriculture, dry farming, dryland farming, rain-fed farming, drought classification, drought adaptation mechanism in crops, droughts management in major crops of Kerala, watershed types, characteristics and management. Module 2. Module 2, Soil Science and Agricultural Chemistry, 10 marks. Soil pedological and edaphological concepts, weathering, soil information, factors and processes, soil profile, soil physical properties, soil texture, soil consistency, soil crusting bulk density and particle density of soils and porosity, their significance and manipulation, soil compaction, soil color, soils of India, geological process and formations, characterization of soils of Kerala, soils, colloids, properties, nature, types and significance, layers, silicate clays, their genesis and sources of charges, adoption of ions, ion exchange, CAC and AEC, concept of pH, soil acidity, saline, sodic and calcareous soils, soil organic matter composition, decomposability, humus, fractionation of organic matter, carbon cycle, CH2N ratio, soil biology, biomass, soil organisms and their beneficial and harmful roles, soil fertility evaluation, soil testing, rating of soil fertility, organic carbon, major, secondary and micronutrients, problem soil of Kerala, characteristics, problems and management, reclamation, salt affected soils, arid soils, acid soils, submerged soils, eroded soils, acid sulfate soils, degraded soils, organic farming and food security, tools and practices of organic farming, organic certification, certification agencies, NSOP, NPOP, precision agriculture, geoinformatics, GIS and remote sensing concepts, application in agriculture global positioning system, GPS, components and its function, nanotechnology definition, concepts and techniques, nanoparticles, nanopesticides, nanofertilizers, nanosensors, module 3, plant breeding and genetics, 10 marks, heredity, Mendelian principles of heredity, cell division, mutation, classification, methods of inducing mutation and CIB technique, mutagenic agent and induction of mutation, qualitative and quantitative traits, polygenes and continuous variations, multiple factor hypothesis, domestications, acclimation, acclimatations, multi-line concepts, Hardy, Weinberg, law genetic basis and methods of breeding, cross-pollinated crops, modes of selection, heterosis, and inbreeding depression, development of inbred lines and hybrids, composite and synthetic varieties, major breeding objectives for crop improvement and procedures, including conventional and modern innovative approaches for development of hybrid and varieties for yield, adaptability, stability, abiotic and biotic shock tolerance and quality, seed production technology in self-pollinated, cross-pollinated and vegetatively propagated crops, hybrid seed production technology in maize, rice, sorghum, pearl, millet and PGNP, etc. Ideotype, concept and climate resilient crop varieties for future, germplasm, methods of conservation and utilization improvement, micropropagation, organogenesis and embryogenesis and different stages of micropropagation, commercial micropropagation, quality assurance of tissue culture plants, plant tissue culture for crop improvement, intellectual property rights, meaning gut, WTO, TRIPS, WIPO, patients, copyrights, trademark, industrial design, geographical indications, integrated circuits, trade secrets, Planet Act, Patent Act 1970 and patent systems in India. Module 4 Seed and Seed Technology 10 mark. Seed certification, field inspection, foundation and certified seed production of important cereals, rice, wheat and maize, pulses, cowpea, nut, mung, urd, PG&B, field bean and soya bean, oil seeds, sesame, coconut, sunflower, groundnut, fodder, guinea grass, napier grass, lucerne, and vegetables, bindi, tomato, brinjal, chilies, and kurkur, betaceous vegetables, Seed Act Enforcement, Central Seed Committee, Central Seed Certification Board, State Seed Certification Agency, Central and State Seed Testing Laboratories, Seeds Control Order 1983 and Seed Bill 2004, IPR, Intellectual Property Rights Method, Module 5, Horticulture, 10 mark, Horticulture, Area, Production, Productivity of Horticultural Crops in India and Kerala, Branches of Horticulture, Major Fruit Crops, Pomology, Importance, Nutritional Value, Production, Technologies, Commercial Orchards, Gardens and plantation, selection of site for crops, climate, soil, socio-economic factors, techniques of training and pruning, problems of unfruitfulness, internal factors, external factors, plant growth regulators in horticulture, plant propagation techniques, definition and basic concepts, type structures, commercial propagation of horticultural crops, micro-propagation of horticultural plants, important seed and herbal classification, medicinal plants, different methods of classification, active principles, aromatic plants, botany, varieties, production of technology, active principles and uses, plantation crops of Kerala, commercially cultivated varieties, production technologies, improved propagation methods, ornamental and flowering plants, floriculture, cultivation of commercial, ornamental and flower crops, gardening and landscaping scope and methods, post-harvest management of major horticultural crops of Kerala, Module 6. Olericulture, 10 marks, importance and scope of vegetables, crop in India with special reference of Kerala production and management of warm season and cool vegetables of Kerala, types of vegetable farming systems of vegetable cultivation, traditional and specialized system, factors affecting vegetable production, basic principles in vegetable production, nursery, sowing and transplanting, care and management, plant protection, special precautions in vegetables, seed production in cool season vegetables, post-harvest handling, losses, causes, and measures to reduce losses, packing and transport, marketing of vegetables, Module 7. Agricultural Economics, 10 marks. Agricultural Economics, basic concepts, goods and services, desire, want, demand, utility, cost and price, wealth tax, capital, income and welfare, theories, utility theory, law of diminishing marginal utility, EQ marginal utility principle, agricultural marketing concepts and definition of marketing, agricultural marketing, marketing structure, marketing mix and market segmentation, classification and characteristics of agricultural markets, demand, supply and produces surplus of agri-commodities, nature and determinants of demand and supply of farm products, produces surplus, Module 8, 5 marks. Definition of forest and forestry. Classification of forest and forestry. Branches of forestry and their relationship. Definition. Objectives and scope of silviculture. Status of forests in India and their role. History of forestry development in India. Traits and their distinguishing features. Growth and development, forest reproduction, site factors, classification of climatic factors, role played by light, temperature, rainfall, snow, wind, humidity, and evapotranspiration in relation to forest vegetation, bioclimatic and microclimate effects, edaphic factors, influence of biological agencies, parent rock, topography on the soil formation, soil profile, physical and chemical properties, physiographic factors, influence of altitude, latitude, aspect and slope on vegetation, biotic factors, influence of plants, insects, wild animals, man and domestic animals on vegetation, influence of forests on the environment, trending and cultural operations, thinning kind of thinning, improvement felling, salvage cutting, pruning, pollarding, lopping, forest types of India and their distribution, plant forest succession, completion and tolerance. Module 9. Regeneration of forests, objectives, ecology of regeneration, natural and artificial regeneration, advanced growth, copies, root sucker, regeneration survey, artificial regeneration, factors governing the choice of regeneration techniques, choice of species, preparation of planting material, field, planting site preparation, planting density, spacing, marking, boundary demarcation, fencing, alignment and staking, kinds of pit making, patterns of planting, plant protection and sanitation measures, forest nutrition, fertilization in trees, silvicultural system definition, scope and classification, even-aged and uneven-aged forests and their prone classes, detailed study of the silvicultural systems, clear felling systems including clear strip, alternate strip and progressive strip system, shelterwood system, uniform system, group system, shelterwood, strip system, bud system, strip and group system, irregular shelterwood system, Indian irregular shelterwood system, seed tree method, selection system and its modification, accessory systems, copy system, symbol copy system, copies of the two rotation system, shelterwood copy system, copies with standard system, copies with reserve system, copy selection system, pollard system, conversation and its implications, choice of silvicultural system, door wolf concept, selection system, bamboo, silvicultural systems followed in other countries, plantation silviculture, choice of species, plantation establishment, plantation maintenance, nutrition in plantations, nutrient deficiencies, symptoms of deficiency, use of fertilizers, major pest and disease in plantations, dynamic of standard growth, standard density management in plantation, spacing, planting density regulation, thinning regimes, improvement fellings, CCF, MCA, site quality evaluation, stand basal area, she index, site index concept in plantation forestry, plantation productivity assessment, growing stock assessment, clonal plantations, LUL, UCF and REDD concepts, ARCDM concepts, Module 10, 5 marks, origin, distribution, general distribution, phenology, silvicultural characters, regeneration methods, silvicultural system, and economic importance of the following three species of India. Broad-leaved species, Tectona, grandis, Shorea robusta, Dalbergia, latifolia, Dalbergia siso, Anogysius spp, Terminalia spp, Santalum album, Cytinia macrophylla, Albizia spp, Santalum album, Petrocarpus marsupium, Jamlinia arborea, Petrocarpus sandalinus, Asadir acta, indica, Hopia parviflora, Lagerstromia, Microcarpia, bamboos, reeds and rattan, Corcus spp, coniferous, Abies pintro, Pygia, Smithiana, Cedrus deodara, Pinus roxburghi, Pinus walchiana, fast growing MPDs, tropical pines, Eucalyptus spp, Quasarina equisetifolia, Liquania, Lycocephala, Islandus trifesia, Grevillea robusta, Pongamia pinnata, Melia dubia, Acacia spp, Populus spp. Module 11, 5 mark. Agroforestry definition and scope, history of agroforestry, classification of agroforestry systems, structural, functional, socio-economic and ecological basis, traditional agroforestry systems, shifting cultivation, Tonghya, home gardens, land capability classification and land use, plantation agriculture and plantation forestry, choice of species of agroforestry, professional and regulatory services of agroforestry, food and nutritional security, tree crop interaction in agroforestry, positive and negative interactions, industrial agroforestry concept and importance, agroforestry systems in different climatic zones, components, production and management techniques, alley cropping, high density, short rotation, plantation systems, silvicultural, woodlots, energy plantations, different types of pastoral, silviculture and silvopastoral systems, silvo-agriculture systems, agro-silviculture, pastoral silviculture, silvopastoral and agro-silvopastoral systems and their management, agri-horti, silviculture, silvi-horticulture, hortipastoral, aquaforestry, shelter belts and windbreaks, live fences, fodder trees and protein banks, canopy management, diagnosis and design methods and approaches, biophysical and ecological function of agroforestry, nutrient cycling and role of agroforestry in soil and water conservation, carbon sequestration, climate change mitigation and phytoremediation, adverse effect of trees on soils, competition, allelopathy, causes and mechanisms, soil fertility consideration in agroforestry, nutrient needs of trees and crops, activities of soil fauna and microorganism affecting plant growth, people's participation, rural entrepreneurship through agroforestry and industrial life linkages, financial and socio-economics analysis of agroforestry systems, evaluation of tangible and intangible benefits, forest protection, classification of injurious agencies, forest fire, causes and management, injury to forest due to man, lopping, fuel wood collection, encroachment, method of control, forest weeds and weed management, management of woody climbers, parasites and epiphytes, forest pathology, tree disease classification, principles of tree disease management, Causes and symptoms. Losses due to forestry diseases, root diseases, wilt root and bud rot, stem diseases, heart rots, stem blisters, rust, stem wilt, cangasping diseases, gemosis, water blister, and foliar disease, rust, powdery mildew, leaf spot leaf, and tick blight, abnormal leaf fall, needle blight, etc. Of etiology, symptoms, mode of spread, epidemiology and management, including chemical, biological, cultural, and silvicultural practices, nursery diseases and their management, diseases due to physiological causes, abiotic diseases, forest entomology in India, methods and principles of pest control, mechanical, physical, silvicultural, legal, biological, and chemical principles and techniques of integrated pest management in forest, classification of forest pest, types of damages and symptoms, practice for outbreak of pest, nature of damage and management, insect pests of forest seeds, forest nursery and standing trees of timber yielding species of nature, natural forest and plantation forest species, insect pests of freshly felled trees, finished timbers and their management, Module 13, 5 marks, forest mensuration, definition, objectives and scope of forest mensuration, scales and units of measurement, error and accuracy, measurement of individual tree parameters, bark measurement, crown measurement, height measurement, principles, instruments, tree stem form classification of form factors and form quotient, volume tables, classification and preparation, tree biomass estimation methods, age determination of tree objectives and methods, tree growth measurement, stump analysis and increment boring, measurement of tree crops, crop diameter, crop height, crop age and crop volume, stand growth, site quality, site index, stand structure, yield tables, preparation and stand tables, forest inventory definition, objectives, kinds of enumeration, sampling definition, advantages, kinds of sampling, random sampling, non-random sampling, point sampling, horizontal and vertical point sampling. ഇന്നത്തെ വീഡിയോ ഇവിടെ അവസാനിക്കുന്നു. ഇന്ന് അസിസ്റ്റന്റ് മാനേജർ സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ഓഫ് ഫാമിംഗ് കോർപ്പറേഷൻ കേരള ലിമിറ്റഡ് വേണ്ടിയുള്ള കേരള PSC നടത്തുന്ന പരീക്ഷയുടെ സിലബസിനെ കുറിച്ചുള്ള വീഡിയോയാണ് വിശകലനം ചെയ്തത്. ചാനൽ ആദ്യമായി കാണുന്നവരാണെങ്കിൽ ചാനൽ മറക്കാതെ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക. വീഡിയോ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടാൽ ലൈക്ക് ചെയ്യുക. വീഡിയോ കൂടുതൽ പേരിലെത്തിക്കാനായി ഷെയർ ചെയ്യുക. നിങ്ങളുടെ വിലപ്പെട്ട നിർദ്ദേശങ്ങൾ കമന്റ് ബോക്സിൽ രേഖപ്പെടുത്തുക. ചാനൽ തുടർന്നും ലഭിക്കാൻ ചാനൽ മറക്കാതെ സബ്സ്ക്രൈബ് ചെയ്യുക. എല്ലാവർക്കും നന്ദി.